literally starting my journey now, and I just spent some time with Harmony and her family, and they gave me a fantastic send-off for the start of everything. It's fitting, I was realizing while I was driving down this gorgeous valley out here that they live in, I was realizing this is actually totally fittingly exactly where I was when I got what I feel like is a very, very strong, clear call to change everything in my life and, you know, do something just incredibly different from everything that I had done before, you know, including changing my partner, changing where I lived, my house, changing my career. And this journey is really the, you know, that was the start of all of this, but this is the continuation of that. And I just have so much gratitude that Harmony and her family understand that process and took the time to wish me well. They took me on a beautiful hike down to this magical place that is near their house, full of abandoned old structures, this abandoned old railway. You know, there's a pond down there. Her kids are amazingly beautiful, intelligent people. We got to play chess and play together. You know, Harmony and I grew up together, and playing with her children in this magical fairyland, wonderland, this natural setting behind me that's just stunning, reminded me of our childhood and how we used to play also in very beautiful natural places. We were very lucky for that. So I'm very blessed and very grateful for all the gifts that I've received along the way. A lot of people think that it's crazy what I'm doing for some reason, like it's crazy to change careers, or it's crazy to sell a house, it's crazy to move, or it's crazy to go on a vacation, it's crazy to get a van and sleep in it. And I'm like, I'm camping for a little while. I'm leaving a very stressful, very successful, and very stressful career for something that will hopefully be much more enjoyable for me, but still as helpful to the world and to myself. And I don't know, there's nothing but beauty there. So I hope through this journey maybe other people can be inspired to follow their hearts and follow the very clear signs and calls that they get to do something different with their life. You know, you can hear the voice in your heart that's telling you what to do, and amazing things can happen if you listen to it. So thank you for being here along with the journey with me, and it's a beautiful start. It's a beautiful thing. I grew up actually over there on that island. That's Whidbey Island. My mom is about to catch the ferry over here to Uncle Tio, and she's going to drive with me down to Portland. We're going to see my sister. So it's a summer solstice. I just remembered that. I get to start my journey on the summer solstice. Totally unplanned. My whole life seems to work out as though I've planned it, but I haven't. I just jump through, tumbling through life like a chaotic fucking tightrope walker. It works out pretty good, but saying goodbye for a little while. I'll be back in a few months to visit at least before I continue on to another leg of the journey. So here's some gorgeous scenery of the Salish Sea in Washington. Aho! Happy journeys! This is the Kendra and Lindsay show. We're in Portland, and then you can be like, what? We're in Portland. I have just driven from Portland, where I say goodbye to my sister and my nephew and my brother-in-law and my mother, and drove through some amazing territory that I've never seen before, actually, somehow, even though I've driven all over this coast. I went through by Smith River. It's like 6 or 7 in the evening in true summer here in Northern California, and I'm just trying to figure out where to camp for the night, because the campgrounds, of course, are full in the summer in the Redwoods, and I didn't actually mean to make it to the Redwoods this soon. So I did find this lovely little pull-off with a bathroom, which is perfect, and it does not say that you cannot park there overnight, so it's actually cool for me to sleep there, because that's my whole plan, is to find random places to sleep and then sleep there. This is what my hair looks like, by the way, after a day of driving in the van with the wind in my hair and the sun and flying down the road. I've come to a fork. This says beach access, coastal trail. So we'll go see where that leads. My hope is that this gorgeous trail leads to the sunset. Fucking love the ocean. I came to the ocean once when I was younger, probably 22, and I was having an existential crisis. I had just left a really abusive boyfriend, and I was in college, and I had just moved away from home, not for the first time, but for the first time to a place where no one else I knew lived already, and so it was kind of unsupported off into the unknown. And I kind of got there and got established, and I have this ability to just like buckle down and do anything and not think about it even, and just do it until it's done, and kind of ignore all of the stress and the emotions of it. So I'd been doing that until I got stable there, and I was finally kind of stable at a car, at a job. I was going to college, like everything was working out, and I just needed to go get away and do something else. And so I drove out to the ocean, which was like hours. It was like 2 hours or something of a drive. And I got there, and I realized it was the first time I'd ever been to like the ocean proper, just like beach, just like what you've seen here in this video, that I could remember at least. You know, I'd lived on the Puget Sound my whole life, but that's not really the ocean, that's the Puget Sound. So I got there, and I just like collapsed on the sand and started bawling like a weirdo. This is a theme you'll notice if you listen to me long enough. I suddenly start bawling. Often, not often, but you know, at appropriate moments, I'd say, because I had just finally realized that I was like going to be okay, and the ocean just felt like this release. It's like infinite, vast, archaic, ancient source of freaking, I don't know, all emotional solvent. It's just beautiful. I love that sound. There was another time in my life that the ocean was a source of release for me too, which was when I went out to my first year teaching. I lived in this tiny coastal village. When I see village, I mean village, like it was tiny. There was maybe 300 people that lived there or something. It was really, or maybe it was 300 families, but it was very, very small. And I ended up in this house on the beach. It was like this again, like all night long I could hear the waves, and it was wonderful. But it was better than this in a way, because not only could you hear the waves, but you could hear the pebbles as they got pulled back down by the waves. So you'd like hear the wave come up, and then you hear this like tinkling sound all night long. It was gorgeous, and I loved that. And I went walking there every day again, because it was one of the most stressful points in my life. It's like, who decided to let me become a teacher? Like, this was a bad idea. It actually wasn't. It was great. I think that it was really good for me, and it was really good for many of my students along the way. But I'm so glad to be done with it. And here I am back at the ocean, done with teaching, hopefully forever. No offense to anyone. Teaching is awesome. I love my students. I love being able to affect young people. I love being able to open their mind to something greater than what they thought they were going to experience in a boring, stupid, state-run facility that tries to institutionalize them. That is one of my favorite things in the world, is to break that system and expose them to something beyond that, and encourage them to, think for themselves and get out of the box, and especially get out of from under the thumb of expectation and conformity that most adults in that situation are stuck within still and don't see beyond. So I loved it. I loved every moment. I shouldn't say I loved every moment. I hated a lot of the moments. They were really stressful, and because a lot of the adults in that institution are still stuck in an institutional mindset, there are definitely a lot of hard parts, but I'm glad I did it. It was beautiful. If I go back, I go back, but I don't expect to. And here I am at the ocean again, starting my journey away from that. And again, I feel that release in this beautiful, infinite space called the ocean that I'm blessed enough to be connected with. And I'm just grateful to be here in the redwoods, which are also ancient and wonderful in their own way. What a gorgeous place. When I was telling people that I was leaving teaching, I got a lot of very strange responses. And I get that it's not normal to leave your profession suddenly, seeming to other people. It wasn't sudden to me though. It's been years that I've been thinking about it, and the average length that teachers tend to stay in the profession is 5 years. So I made it to the upper end of the average, 10 years. It's funny, people can't imagine something other than what they're doing, I guess. I don't know. Again, I hope people can become inspired to look beyond what they're doing in the current moment and wonder about what their life could be, because it really can be anything you want. You just have to dream it and then do it, make it a reality. You can do anything. But anyway, let's get some more of that ocean. on the Avenue of the Giants in a giant, and I just am reflecting on feeling like I live in a dream. Like this is just a layer of a dream. You know, we go to sleep at night and we dream, and we wake up into another dream. And it's as malleable, it's as fanciful, it's as possibly delightful or terrifying, depending on your outlook. It's just like a dream, you can suddenly realize, like, oh, this isn't actually what I wanted to be doing with this time. I'm going to go do this other thing instead. And just like a dream, you can continue doing what you're doing, but add to it or take away from it in various ways. It's been said before, right? Everything we see or seem is but a dream within a dream. But what if that's actually what it is? You know, in my dreams lately, I've been working on understanding my dreamscapes and how they connect to each other. So those places that you revisit over and over again, and connecting them to each other and being able to travel in between them on purpose. But I also am realizing how it connects with this reality when I wake up, and those dreamscapes are often connected to real places here. And there's places where it just seems like the veil is thinner, so to speak. You know, sort of magical feeling places where it seems like it's easier to craft your reality the way you want it to be. And I guess the Redwoods is one of those places for me. This is my third time here. Third time's a charm. And it is one of the best times. The other 2 times were really, really cool. I was with beautiful people and had a beautiful time. But this time I'm just kind of wandering about with no real goal other than heading further south to get to Santa Cruz eventually, and just moseying on my way. And I'm just finding such cool things on the way, as I guess you would anywhere if you didn't really have a concrete plan and just sort of a loose goal of a destination. But it's pretty cool. I've found seals. I've found an osprey hawk that flew maybe 20 feet from my face earlier today. I saw a giant elk with 10-point horns on his head, just a massive buck, kind of stared me down on the road. We had a little standoff, and I think he feels like he won. I wasn't having a battle, but I drove away before he broke eye contact, and so then he kind of like puffed up his chest and like came towards me like, yeah, I got you, I won, you're backing down. So I guess I was happy to help him feel virile. He can go mate and whatever he needs to do, but it was awesome. It's powerful to come that close to a being of massive strength and beauty and make eye contact with them and realize that they're sentient, beautiful beings. Saw a posse of does later on crossing the road, and it's just been a beautiful drive. So driving through the Redwoods is amazing. Highly recommend it. Stop along the way in the tiniest towns you can, because those are the best places to spend your money and your time, and the nicest people will have the best conversations with you. And yeah, hug a tree while you're here, or if you're like me, get inside one. Yeah. So, yeah, traveling well, aiming for balance, looking inside first, as always.